friends, welcome back to another video and wish you a very happy new year. And today we have a very special guest, John's Benny, which is known as Click Crazy Johns in his Twitter and Instagram account. You can follow him, link is in description. He gives regular cricket updates. So, hello Johns, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks a lot for inviting me into this YouTube show. It's a really pleasure to talk cricket. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Johns, let me start with your Twitter journey, how it was started, how you became so famous.
First, I came to social media during 2013-14. First, it was Facebook. We had a group in Facebook. Then, after 2 years, it got disabled due to some copyright issues. Then, slightly, I moved to Twitter. Uh, During early days, I just used to post these scores, etc. But in 2019 World Cup, I got a big turnaround. A retweet from Ian Bishop, then suddenly one of the posts got massive reach, etc. So that is how it all changed. Till 2019 I had around 1000 followers, etc. So after that I had a massive increase. I should thank lots of websites as well. I got these newses, especially there are lots of journalists who used to help me regularly, even now as well. So everyone has been a great support to me as well for building such followers in Twitter.
Are you enjoying? Are you enjoying your work?
Yes, it's just a part-time kind of work. It's not kind of regular work. Whenever I am free, these days after the exams, all I'm totally free right now. So there is not much work these days. I used to work in a social media website as well for some tweets, etc. So I'm combining both of them together. I don't know how far it goes, but there will be some changes, etc. Very soon.
Johns, we all know you are a CSK fan. Are you happy with CSK retained players like CSK retained four players, which MS, Jaddu, Rituraj, and Moin Ali? Are you happy with these four?
Yes, I think it was straightforward pick. Everyone was expecting them to retain Moin or not Moin. Moin was not that straightforward, but Dhoni was straightforward. Ruturaj was straightforward. Jadeja was straightforward as well. But there was lots of overseas players like Faf was there, Moin was there, then Bravo etc. was there. But in Chapo conditions, Moin will be more suitable. He can bowl few overs. He can bowl in power play as well. We have seen in the T20 World Cup. Then he can bat in the top order. He was one of the X factors as well. He can go at a very good strike rate of 140, 150. So that gives that extra flexibility in the batting order. So that is the reason why they kept Moeen Ali. So I'm really happy with the retention. Really looking forward to the auction. There are lots of very good players available in the auction. We will see a new setup as well, considering this might be the last mega auction. We will be seeing many auction, but mega auction might be the last one. So we need to build, looking at the future as well. Getting some under 19 players or getting some under 25 players who can be your future stars after 1 or 2 years.
Johns, which player will be your means in auction? Which will you target for CSK? Name a
I
player.
really like to see Ravichandran Ashwin in CSK, especially he's from Chennai and he is almost at his end of his career. Maybe there will be 2 3 years left, so he might look to play for CSK. So Ravichandran Ashwin is one player. Then I need a raw pace bowler, someone like Loki Ferguson or Kakiso Rabada, someone like that into the CSK mix. Then I really like to see Johnny Bairstow. If they are not getting Faf, then Jody Bairstow might be ideal choice considering he played last season for Sunrisers in Chepauk. He did so well. He was one of the best batsmen as well in that leg of Chepauk leg, and he can bat in the top order. He can play in the middle order, and he can be a wicket keeper as well. So Jody Bairstow will be a very good pick for CSK.
Okay. Johns, are you happy with RCB retentions? They have retained Siraj, Maxwell, and Virat. Are you happy?
Yes, I think it was straightforward. two players. Sorry, there is Virat is straightforward, Glenn Maxwell is straightforward, mainly AB de Villiers retired. Then Siraj is a very good retention, mainly because Indian fast bowlers are really less in this pool. Maybe there will be one Bumrah, then Siraj will be there, Bhuvaneshwar or Avesh Khan. So it is almost an end to get that 135 or 140 players who plays for Team India. So Siraj is a very good retention, and I was expecting them to retain UC Chahal as well. I don't know what happened. Maybe UC Chahal needs more money, something like that. We don't know what happened between UC and RCB. Everyone was expecting them to retain UC as well, but maybe some issues with the money we have seen with Shah Rukh Khan of Punjab Kings or few other players as well. Because if they go into the auction, they might get more money. So if they are retaining with the fourth player, the money will be 6 crores or 7 crores something. So which is pretty less maybe. Sometimes they might go for 8 crores or 10 crores, etc. Depending on when they comes into the auction. So I think that happened between UZ and RCB. So ideally, it was very good retention by RCB as well.
And how do you see Mumbai Indians? There was a little bit confusion in Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan, but they go with Surya Kumar Yadav. According to
I
you,
think it was a big surprise for me. If I was some related to Mumbai Indians, I would have retained Hardik Pandya, even though he was going through a tough time. But Indian all-rounders are really rare. Once he gets back into the usual rhythm, he can be one of the match winners for the team, and he was doing for Mumbai Indians over the years. But recent times, Hardik didn't bowl much. His batting has been mainly because of back injury, etc. His batting has been average as well. That might be the reason why they haven't retained Hardik. But then it was between Surya Kumar Yadav versus Ishan Kishan. Even I thought they might retain Ishan Kishan mainly because Ishan can bat in the top order. He can be the middle order batsman. He can be a wicket keeper. He is a gun fielder as well. And in future he can lead the team as well. Mainly because he was one of the leaders for Jharkhand, etc. He used to lead Jharkhand state team. So it was a big surprise, but I think mainly because in recent times Surya's run has been really incredible. If you look at Ishan Kishan, he has been a bit hot and cold. The consistency was pretty less apart from one season, so that might be the reason why they are retained Surya ahead of Ishan.
Johns, and if we talk about Delhi, there was a bit confusion in Rabada and Norkia. Who should be there? But Delhi have written Norkia.
I think in recent times, Nokia's form has been fantastic. Even the World Cup as well, he did so well. He was one of the best pacers. Rabada mainly due to the workload issue, bowling lots of overs. That might be the reason his form has been a bit up and down in last 1 or 2 years from 2019 etc. Mainly because he was playing three formats. He's playing IPL. There has been non-stop cricket. I think he has bowled more balls than anyone in last few years. Something there was a stat as well. So recent times his form has been bit up and down. Even though he won the Orange Cap in 2020, but Nokia has been fantastic for Delhi Capitals, for South Africa as well. So that is the reason why they have retained Nokia.
Johns, I was too surprised when they have not written Shreyas Iyer. What's your opinion?
I think it was mainly due to the captaincy issue. Delhi Capitals management needs Rishabh Pant to be the future captain, mainly because Rishabh Pant is from Delhi and he has been the star of Indian cricket from the young pool in last 2 years. He won the series in South of Australia. Then he played that very good knocks at home against England. So he has been the rising star, and he can be the future leader as well of Indian team. And coming to Iyer, he needs the captaincy. If you look at once Virat Kohli moves away, there will be, or Rohit Sharma moves away, there will be that space for the captaincy. So IPL is the best platform to prove for these youngsters like Rishabh Pant or Iyer or some other players as well. So that might be the reason why Iyer needs to move away from Delhi Capitals, and there are lots of teams who needs a captain. RCB needs a captain, CSK needs a future captain, Kolkata needs a captain, even two new teams, maybe one of the teams needs a captain. So Iyer has lots of opportunities as well. So that might be the reason why Iyer moved away from Delhi Capitals.
And Johns, if we look at SRH, were you surprised they have not retained David Warner? In fact, I think in IPL there was a controversy between they removed David Warner from captaincy. What's wrong in this? Your opinion?
I think it was not a cricket issue. If you look at the press conference of or chats of this scouting staff or management staff of Sunrisers, it was not a cricket issue. We don't know what happened between David Warner and Sunrisers. It is not disclosed anywhere. So I think as I said earlier, it was not a cricket issue. There was lots of issues between Warner and the management. So maybe that might be the reason why they decided to part ways. I don't think it is a money issue as well. I don't think that is the issue. Maybe it is more than that, but we don't know what happened between them. Hopefully, someone says in the future.
And Johns, are you happy that they have written Abdul Samad and one more pacer, Indian
Imran
pacer?
Malik.
Yes,
Imran
Imran
Malik.
Malik. Are you happy with it? Are you happy with this retentions?
Yes, it was very good retention considering these two guys got for just 8 crores because they are uncapped players. According to the rules, you can retain two uncapped players. So it was a very good retention by Sunrisers, but they should have ideally retained Rashid Khan as well. We don't know what happened between Rashid and Sunrisers. There was reports that Rashid Khan needs to be the first retained player, which is a common thing because Rashid Khan is the number one T20 bowler in the world. So he deserves to be the first choice of retention. But management needs Kane Williamson as their first retention player. So Rashid Khan decided to move away. But ideally, if you ask me, Rashid Khan, Kane Williamson, and Umran Malik and Abdul Samad should have retained for some races.
And Johns, if we look at KKR, I was too surprised when they didn't retain Shubman Gill. They retained Venkatesh Iyer, Varun Chakravarti, Sunil Narayan, and Andre Russell. Were you surprised?
I think in the recent times, Venkatesh Iyer's rise has been too good. So recent buyers maybe tempted them to retain Venkatesh Iyer over Shubman Gill. But I was expecting them to retain Shubman Gill mainly because he is really young. He can be a future face of KKR as well, and he can lead the team as well after maybe 1 or 2 years once he gets experience, etc. So it was a big surprise, but they went with that recent form. What Venkatesh did for KKR in the UAE leg, or what he did for Madhya Pradesh in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, or Said Mushtaq Ali, etc. He did so well. So that might be the reason why they retained this Venkatesh over Shubman Gill.
And if we look at Rajasthan, they have not retained Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer. Were you surprised?
I think Ben Stokes was not a big surprise. If you look at his numbers as well, he hasn't been performing well, even for England as well in T20 format. And coming to Jofra Archer, I think mainly due to his fitness issues. If you look at he has been already ruled out till March, so we don't know whether what is the availability of Jofra Archer for the IPL. So that might be the reason why they haven't retained Jofra. And I believe they should have retained one more player, Karthik Tyagi, mainly because Karthik Tyagi would have got them for just 4 crores, and he's an Indian fast bowler. He can bowl anywhere in 20 overs. He can bowl that death over. He has the death over skills as well. So ideally, they should have retained Jaiswal, Tyagi, Butler, and Samson, but we don't know what happened. So I really hope someone gets Karthik Tyagi because he can be one of the future fast bowlers from India as well.
And last team, eighth team, I forgot him. Last team, Johns.
Last team, Punjab Kings.
Yeah, Punjab.
Uh,
What's your
coming
opinion on
to
Punjab?
Coming to Punjab Kings, there was issues like KL Rahul needs to move away from the franchisee, so they retained Mayank Agarwal, who has been doing so well in the last 2 seasons for Punjab Kings. He has been one of the best openers in IPL history last 2 years. Then they retained Akshadeep Singh. He has been doing so well with the ball over the years for Punjab Kings, bowling some tough overs. So he they got them for 4 crores as well. But we don't know what happened between Shah Rukh Khan and Punjab Kings or Ravi Bishnoi and Punjab Kings. Ideally, they should have retained one of them, mainly because their skills are not easy to get in India. Ravi Bishnoi has been one of the best leg spinners in India. Then Shah Rukh Khan has been one of the best finishers in India in last few years. So I don't know what happened between the franchisee and the player. Maybe they want to retain for more money. That might be the reason. But ideally, they should have retained one more uncapped player. But maybe the talks didn't happen or talks didn't went well, etc.
And Johns, they have not written Mohammad Shami. Were you surprised or it's okay?
Uh, I was not surprised with Shami, even though he has been wicket taking bowler, he did so well in power play, etc. But he used to go for runs in death overs, and even Shami is already 33, 34. So looking moving forward to next 2, 3 years, we don't know how the fitness going to maintain. Even though he has a very good fitness, but he's a fast bowler. He used to play in the test format. So somewhere around there will be some injury issues happening. So that might be the reason why they haven't beat it. And his numbers in depth overs is not that great as well compared to his power play spell.
And Johns, what will you tell on ongoing controversy between Virat Kohli and BCCI?
I think it should have been it should have been maintained, or it should have been done really well. Between the communication gap should have been better, because Virat Kohli is at one thing, BCCI president at some other thing. So there should have been a better communication, and even there will be if you look at there will be issues anywhere. If you look at any corporate company or even in a home between father or children, etc., there will be issues. Without issues, you can't see anything. So there will be issues between players. There will be issues between players and board, etc. But it shouldn't come into the public. Once it gets in the public, it will be getting worse, because there will be different people with the different opinions, and it will divert into some other topics as well. So ideally they should have kept within the BCCA. They should have talked really well what is the better way to forward for the Indian cricket, etc. So ideally they should have played, or they should have maintained this issue in a better way.
Okay. Johns, what will you tell about Chiteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane's form? Will you drop him after this South Africa series? Because we have seen consistently these two batters are not making runs. In fact, Virat is also not making. What is your opinion on this?
I think this South Africa tour is really vital for both of them. If they are not performing up to the expectation, then team might decide to make harsh calls, because they have got Iyer is there, Shubman Gill is there, Harima Vihari is there. So they got lots of options. Even Priyank Panchal is there. So they have got lots of options for Team India, even for Virat or Dravid, etc. So this South Africa series will be vital. I don't see any changes in the second test match, but we might see changes from the Sri Lanka series. If these two guys are not performing, there will be some harsh calls taken by the management, mainly because if you look at the fixture as well, apart from one test match against England, all the series are in Asia in this WTC cycle. So it's that better time to get the players into this Indian system as well. So this South Africa series will be vital for Rahane and Pujara.
Johns, how do you see this South Africa series? India have won first test, historic test match at Centurion. Now tomorrow, second test match will start. What's your prediction? India is winning.
I think India are the favorites right now. There are lots of issues in South African camp, especially batting. De Kock has retired, even though they have got replacements, but they are new to international cricket, especially Test cricket, facing Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, etc. It will be really difficult for them. So their batting unit is really fragile. But the chances for South Africa, I think it depends on the toss. They need to win the toss, bat first, and put India under pressure, like scoring around 300 something. Then South Africa has a pretty good chance, mainly because they have that bowling unit to keep India under control. So it all depends. If South Africa needs to win that test match, they need to win the toss. They need to score around 300. So that is the only possibility. But right now, India are the favorites to win the series.
John, so what will be your 11 for second test match? Any changes?
I don't think there will be changes in the batting unit. We'll be seeing that straightforward selection with Mayank, Rahul, Pujara, Virat, Rahane, then Rishabh. But there might be one change considering whether Johannesburg, which hasn't been assisting to spinners, so we might see some one change. Maybe Ashwin might sit out. Other than that, I don't think even Ashwin sitting out will be really less chance considering the weather. If there is some rain, they might look for one change. But other than that, the same 11 will be playing the second test match.
Okay. And John, so what you will tell about these three fast bowlers, Shami, Siraj, and Bumrah? Are these three in your top four in the world?
I think if you look at the pace trio, this should be right up at the top. If you look at the trio, if you look at for Australia, they have Pat Cummins, they have Josh Hazlewood, etc. But as a pace trio, Mitchell Starc, even though he did so well in Ashes, but if you look at his overall numbers, comparing to even though Siraj is really young, into international cricket, but the way he has been bowling in Australia, in England, etc., he has been doing so well. So, if you take as a pace trio, bowling in every conditions, like in India or in South Africa or in England or in Australia or in New Zealand, etc., if you look at a bowling group, then I believe India is right up there in the top.
Johns, are you happy with ODI squad which day before announced?
Uh, it was a very good squad. Mainly some players got injured. Hardik is going to rehab. Akshar Patel is not fit. Jadeja is injured. So almost it was a very good squad. But I thought they would be picking Prithvi Shaw mainly because he was part of the system. But I don't know what happened. Why he was dropped. It was not even answered or it was not even asked by the journalists. So apart from Prithvi Shaw, I think it was almost a straightforward selection. Most of the players who is not picked is injured or is going to rehab. So ideally, it's a very good squad.
Johns, were you surprised that Rahul Chahar was not picked because he was picked in T20 World Cup?
We don't know what happened for Rahul Chahar. If I remember correctly, I haven't seen him much in the domestic cricket as well. I don't. Maybe he's injured something. We don't know what happened. We need to wait and watch. In the Ranji Trophy, if he plays for Rajasthan, he used to play for the domestic state team. So I don't know what happened for Rahul Chahar. He will be in the IPL as well, and he has been bowling so well. It's not apart from that one half season in UAE, he has been bowling so well. He has been the number one bowler for Mumbai Indians in last 2 years. So and he is young as well. He can come back. He'll be coming back as well because he is that good.
And John's day before when squad announced as well, Jasprit Bumrah was named as vice captain. What's your opinion on this?
I think it's a very good call considering Bumrah has been the leader of this bowling unit over the years. He knows, he reads the game so well, he reads the batter so well. So ideally, he'll be a very good deputy for KL Rahul. His values or his inputs will be really good for the team because he is experienced. He has played for cricket for last 5 years. He has gone through that hard times, etc. So he deserves that vice captaincy spot. It's not that long term, but for this series, considering there is no Rohit Sharma, he deserves to be the deputy of KL Rahul.
Johns, what will be your 11 for ODI?
ODI, I think most of the players are straightforward, but it all depends on whether KL Rahul opens or he bats at number five. He has been batting at number five in last 1 year, more than 1 year. He did so well at number five. So if KL Rahul opens, then KL, Dhawan, Virat, number four will be Iyer, number five will be Pant, then number six will be Venkatesh Iyer, number seven will be Thakur, number eight will be Washington Sundar. Then number nine will be UC or Ashwin. Then number 10 will be Bhuvaneshwar. Ideally, I need Siraj, but Bhuvaneshwar as an experienced guy, he will be starting. Then Bumrah. But if Rahul bats at number five, it will be a really tricky selection. Considering there is Rishabh Pant is there is Iyer is there, so they needs to put someone in the bench, or else they should be playing with five bowlers, and Venkateshwar will be the fifth bowler. So it's an issue. Even in the press conference, no one asked whether KL Rahul will be opening or whether he'll be batting at number five. So we need to wait and watch how that goes on.
Johns, instead of Dhawan, should Ruturaj should open?
I don't think that will be happening very soon. Dhawan was the leading run scorer for Team India in ODIs in 2021. So whenever he got that opportunity, he did so well. But looking for the future, we need to wait and watch how it goes on. India will be playing 18 ODIs in this year, so it will be important for Dhawan to keep scoring because he is not part of the T20 setup. He is not part of the Test setup as well. So he is right now only in T2 ODI format. So he just need to keep scoring. If he is not scoring, there will be lots of guys who are waiting for that spot.
Okay, thank you very much, Johns, for joining with me, and thank you guys for watching this video. Please follow Crick Crazy Johns on Twitter for more cricket updates, for fastest cricket updates, and please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thank you, Johns.
Thank you.